just see if I can turn up my volume a little bit, though. I'm outside.
I see.
I finally moved outside because that guy stopped doing his thing over there.
Yeah, well, I had gardeners here this morning too, so I knew what you meant.
Yeah, well, he stopped. He goes back and forth with his thing. Beep, beep, beep. Makes me nuts. But anywho.
Can you tilt your screen a little bit to show a little bit more of your chest? Less sky, more of Trish?
Sure. Actually, the sky's better looking, but we'll see. Hold on. I dropped my mouse.
You're not on a laptop.
I am on a laptop. I'm on a laptop sitting outside, but I'm plugged in, which is usually not the case, but I'm plugged in all the way today. How about that? Is that better or worse?
That a little bit lower, a little bit more. You could get your hair, no, the other way. Oh, back up. Right there.
Okay.
Right there. Perfect.
Very good. Maybe I should take my glasses off because they turn dark in the light. Are my glasses dark?
They're dark.
Well, I guess we have to get rid of those then.
Oh, we see the real woman here.
The real woman. Okay, you look great.
Oh, thank you. Well, so do you. I see we both got the blue. We
both have the blue, yeah. And so it looks like we're good to go. We don't have any fall foliage behind us, though. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. So, let's see here. We'll get started. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I'm Chiwa Slater, and I'm here today with Trish Samson of By Design Chic. Trish has been in the graphics industry for 30 years, and she's going to answer some questions that could make all the difference for your success here today. Plus, there's a bonus. You're going to learn the one most important secret to making the right choices and ultimately to your success. So Trish.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So we have a few questions for you, and we're going to start out talking about graphics, of course.
Okay.
It's a very simple question, but I'm sure that the answer is pretty complex. What makes for a compelling graphic?
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot of things that will do that. Color is real important. And I like to call it visual traffic management. When your eye enters into an image, especially in our culture, because we read from left to right, the design needs to assume that we're going to enter on the left. And so what we've got to do as graphic artists is to direct that visual to where we want it to end up, which ultimately would be our action statement or our call to action. That's what I guess it is. So that would be one very important facet. The other thing that's real important is to know the audience that you're talking to. As a designer, I spend almost as much time listening to my client and researching them, what they do, their audience, and their competitors before I ever pick up a pencil to sketch anything. Because what impresses you and me may not be so much for a farmer or someone who's in the steel industry. So because I've represented such a vast spectrum of people, you know, I've learned to do this, and I've also learned a lot of stuff. You know, how many people know how to clean up an underground oil spill? Me. I am just a plethora of information that may or may not be useful. So I would say that those are probably the two most critical factors. You know, there's always shock jock images and things like that, but traditionally I'm a conservative, and I like to use solid design skills and good color and good research and really set the focus in a direction that is going to go. Stop people and go, wow, and make them feel good.
So to recap then, I got out of that color, knowing your audience are the two most important things.
And design.
And design. So
and design. Remember, you're going to be a visual traffic manager.
Well, how can we create great killer graphics, or should we just hire a professional?
Hiring a professional is always the best way to go, but you may not have that in your resource bucket. So if you have to do it yourself, do a lot of looking around and pick out things you like, pick out things you don't like. Talk to people who are your audience. Say, hey, do you like this? Don't you like that? Do some, do some kind of studies, with your people. Make them a little formal. Show them a few things. And then you can kind of get a sense from a pseudo focus group, if you will. You can get a sense of what it is the people you're trying to talk to are impressed with. Then you set out to find images to work with, and you can take your own if you're a good photographer. If you're not a good photographer, please don't. There are plenty of stock photo agencies that offer free stock photos. Morgue Files is one that I can think of, spelled as in M-O-U-R-G, as in, where you put your bodies, dead bodies. Where they came up with that name, I'll never know, but that's what it is. And
would you start over where you said Morgue Files and
Sure. One is Morgue Files. I'm not sure how to spell that, so you can just Google it. They'll find it for you. There's a very inexpensive stock photo agency called 123RF. And for $20, you can buy credits, and those credits will give you a half a dozen photos or more. And you only need, if you're on the internet, you only need low-res images, so you don't pay a lot for them. So those would be two places to start. You can also, there's a plethora of software, I guess, free software out there that you can use to make adjustments to your images. I don't usually use them, so I don't know too many of them, but I know there is one called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, and a lot of people that I know use that. So look for those places where you can buy or get free stock photos. So then when you're in Canva and you start adding your text, this is where the creativity begins, and you start to move things around and see what you like, and again, present them to do a few things, present them to your focus group. And when you're done, you should have a fairly nice photo or banner or whatever it is you're trying to make. Of course, remember the few rules for the web. You're going to work in a small low-res image. High-res images, 300 pixels can be tricky, so I don't see any need at this point to use those, especially for Facebook banners and things like that. And use your cropping tools and make them the size that you want to make them. That's
all right.
My best advice.
That's all good advice.
Good.
Let's move on to, I want to talk about web presence, because you and I know that there's a lot more to web presence than having a website.
That is true. That is very true. I remember when I did my graduate thesis, we made a play out of web presence and a little skit. And what's a web presence? And we had to give a lot of thought to that, because we really had to earn our grade. A web presence is, of course, having a website that is very lovely and beyond lovely, easy to navigate, which is, of course, a topic for another conversation. But beyond web presence, you want to be available in places where your potential customers are. For some, that could be Facebook. For others, LinkedIn. For others, some people are Twitter freaks. And so it just depends on your audience. Your audience probably isn't everywhere. They're probably not spending their day going back and forth between Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and Instagram. And so you find out where your people are and where it is they're going to be, and make your presence there known. You can, of course, have your business Facebook page, which is helpful, and it gives you a lot of capability that your personal Facebook page does not. You can advertise on Facebook, and these things all give you a presence. I sense a question coming on.
What about a Facebook cover? What's important in a Facebook cover?
Some of the same kinds of things that we talked about in making a real dynamic graphic. Because Facebook cover shots tend to fall outside the scope of normal banners. They're 300 and something pixels high, which is a little bit big for what one of us would call a banner. So maybe that's why they call them covers. But again, you want to engage your visitor. You want them to smile, laugh. You want to invoke emotion, because that will make them like you.
Right. Okay, let's go for that bonus now. What is the secret you were going to give us?
Okay. I couldn't help when I wrote that down but chuckle a little bit, because so many marketers, it's like, well, now if you want to find out the secret, you have to press here and pay money. But that's not it. The secret is that you have been given by birth a set of instincts that are amazing. Trust them. Look with eyes that see what's inside of you. The truth is always in there. It's not out there somewhere else. So if you learn to hone your skills and trust your instincts, same thing goes with hiring someone. If you get a feeling they're kind of a horse's butt, they probably are. So just trust those instincts, and they're going to tell you. And you can always shoot me an email or something. I'll try to give you a little advice for free. Pardon?
Where would they email you?
Oh, they would email me at Trish, Trish, at ByDesignChic, ByDesignChic.com.
Okay.
And I'll be sure to try to help you all I can.
Great. Well, thank you, Trish. This has been really informative.
Good. You're welcome. Anytime. It was fun. I liked it.
All right.
Okay, so I'll talk to you soon.
I'm going to stop the recording.